Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Phygital experience. Okay. So the simplest phygital experience, that I understand is, finishing my work at 5 p.m. in the evening and go out, have a tea, and pay the bill via a digital wallet. I think that's the lowest common denominator that we can see in the phygital experiences. So Naveen, I'll start with you. Okay. How is Pepperfry, working towards creating, the great phygital experiences?
Hi, good morning all. It's an interesting question to put that in the way you started off, right? I think being in today's world, not having a phygital experience would be, I don't know, impossible. But for us, the challenge has been fundamentally starting off as an online company, now having about 80 plus towns coverage across the country. The journey has been in two parts. One is how do you ensure the physical consumer gets a physical plus digital experience, or a consumer who's at home also gets a physical experience, right? So that's the two-way journey. And all the actions over the last few years have been in that direction. So the step one, which is on the consumers at home, when you go online, when you go to the app, how do you ensure they get a touch and feel of a product? Our category being extremely non-standardized, high value. Buying online comes with its own worries and challenges for the consumer. The job has been to fundamentally take that concerns from the minds of the consumers away, right? And hence, one, the help of technology. So today, if you go to our app, there is AR by which you can actually visualize that piece in your home, exactly how it would look. In that corner, would it go with my wall, the color, the curtain, the furnishing, right? All that gets solved through that tech journey. The other part is, I don't want this. I really want to feel and touch the piece. So today we have studios where you go and actually touch. So today there are studios where you go and get to knock on wood, right? Because for Indians, sometimes, while I don't know when my father went to buy a furniture, what he understood by knocking on wood, neither do I. But that's something we love to do, right? So that's the journey I think we have tried to cover. So today you go to these places, you have those stores. But what's fundamentally different in our stores is that as you walk in, there's no sale that happens at the counter, right? Okay. So as you walk to our studio, unlike any other physical stores, you are actually connected back to our digital experience. And why so? Because a store can have 700 to 1,000 pieces that I can show at best. Right. What we offer to the consumer walking into our store is 70,000 to 1 lakh pieces of furniture and furnishing listings that you can get. Because as you walk into the store, we show them what does Shisham look like. Now that you've understood that, why don't you come online? We take them to our desk and actually show our listing online. And that's where the sale happens, because somebody was telling me earlier, right? We can't go through one piece of furniture to pick anything for our home. We need to see 400, right? And that's what we enable there. So that's the journey through the store. And online, what we try to do now is, the moment you log into our app, the first thing you would see is, if you type in your PIN code, where's your closest studio? So if this is not enough, why don't you go there, right? So that's the journey we try to complete the loop today. So that's for us.
Great. So Smita, like Naveen mentioned, about the customer journey, some people used to, knock on the wood and understand, how does Shisham look like, or how does sandalwood look like. So how are, in this digital age, we are mapping the consumer journey, because at the end of the day, it's all about, creating that seamless experience for the consumer. And we need to understand our consumer better. So how are we doing that, to create those excellent phygital experiences?
Yeah, thank you. And what he spoke about is a great segue into similar experiences at our brand at Duroflex. So just a little bit about our category, what it was beginning of 2020 and what it is today from a consumer expectation point of view, right? We were actually a very sleeping category, literally. The way we used to sell was very traditional. The brand is over 50 years now. So obviously the kind of business we were as a brand and also as a category was very traditional. The online burst happened in the category 2 years before, and we did launch a sister brand as well called Sleepyhead. But this online world and the offline world behaved very differently, both from internal, the way we set up the business, but also from consumer expectations. They didn't know better, they didn't care more, right? The focus of consumers also was towards other categories. What really helped us through the pandemic was consumers started spending time at home and on the mattress, which is one of our core products, which is the foundation of good sleep. And they really realized how bad it was, mostly in the country. And that really helped us connect with the consumer in making them understand what good sleep is, how it impacts your health, your immunity. All these conversations became very relevant. Today, the consumer is very conscious of health, fitness, topics like that, right? So behavior has really changed. Consumer has really started giving importance to outside lifestyle categories, outside out-of-home categories, which were probably important earlier. For us, it was important to build the connect of the consumer mindset from there on to actually how they would behave for our category. Breaking category codes and really applying the real journey of a consumer, how they behave in their normal life for other bigger categories, like how would they shop for grocery, how would they go and buy apparel, how would they like to do their restaurant search. So applying that logic into our category really helped. Because if you really think this is how a category is supposed to behave, it will continue like that. So we really looked at it from consumers' point of view. And then also saying, yes, this is an expensive category and people would like to come and touch and feel it. And like he said, knock on the wood. Consumers in India think by just putting a pressure on the mattress, they know enough what it is about. So there are some traditional behaviors which are important to break, but in the same world they're used to, which is the physical world. So what we did was really map the whole consumer journey as to how the discovery happens. And today, across categories, the discovery of a brand and good category knowledge happens online, right? Over 60, 70%. So we really built our whole network ecosystem of our website, social media, content, knowledge, everything digital first. Not to only sell online, but also to educate. And then we realized that if this consumer is setting expectations of our products, reading about it, and really the expectations and the quality, what they want to buy is very high. How can we lead them to stores which are typically dealer-led, which don't have a great ambience, which have other brands? How can we lead them to that store? There's going to be huge dissonance, right? So we set up our experience centers post-pandemic, and today we are over 50 stores, rapidly expanding. The consumer here comes in 80% made up on their mind on the brand and even the product. 20% is where the sales staff really connects with them, understands them a lot better, and chooses to personalize their choice a lot more, right? So that 20% is where the consumer really decides to buy. But 80% they've already decided yes, because nobody walks into a mattress store, a sleep solution store just to do window shopping and just to spend time on a high street. So really understanding those kind of interventions at every journey, knowing that marketing is not only about just showing ads, which are just about selling, about product, and showing the same kind of communication across doesn't help. So if somebody who's at the top of the funnel doesn't know much about mattress, thinks they want to buy a mattress, their connect with the communication is going to be very different versus somebody who's about to walk into the store, right? So somebody who's about to walk into the store needs to know which is the nearest store, what kind of pictures is there online, what does the store look like, what is the reviews, which is very, very different. So for us, it's very important to really break down our communication at every journey stage and marry the whole physical and digital experience in any medium basis the journey. The mistake that marketers make is really saying that, okay, this is digital media, this is ATL media, this is a physical consumer, this is a digital consumer. Consumers, not any of those. We should all think that these are just mediums, and the more advanced the medium, the better our connect can be and utilize for that. So these are some of the learnings we've had, and we've really been able to milk it. But yeah, journey, I think, is really the holy grail of Phygital, understanding that and building that ecosystem.
Great point, Smita. Aashish, Smita mentioned one thing that, when the consumer actually lands in the store, 80% of his or her mindset is already made that, I want to buy that product. Now, to put that 80% of the mindset, there's a lot of tech and content, that comes to the play. So, how are tech solutions, powering these phygital experiences?
So, Devesh, we talked about how you could really use tech from marketing standpoint,
Yes.
right? And for those of you who don't know, I maybe already read. I'm a chief digital officer, so strongly believe that marketing is one of the business areas that benefits the most from tech and digital. So if you were to ask me, as a digital guy, what's the most value a company can get? I would say the growth comes from marketing, especially in India. And I'll expand on that in a few minutes as well. But imagine a case that you are walking into a mall. Just imagine, you walk into a mall because you wanted to just hang out with your friends. And when you're in the mall, all of a sudden, you get a message on your phone. Hey Nick, or I don't know, Devesh, it's nice to have you in the mall. We just noticed you walked in and you are only few steps away from our store. And let's say the store is the Body Shop or Starbucks, pick any. And we know you like your caramel macchiato, but you haven't come here in the last 2 months. And we have a special promotion just for you, just for now. We'll give you 50% off if you walk in right now for the next half an hour or 1 hour. See, that's really where you combine the geospatial data. This is the data coming in your phone location. You combine your GPS data along with your personalized promotion, which is real time and targeted to you because you like caramel macchiato. And the retailers could send that kind of promotion using tech. Now, this is complete advanced analytics. This is where the companies can truly use the power and bring in those values for the organization, right? Now, what's the reality? Most of the organizations I'm seeing more so here in India is that when you walk in the stores, the store personnel don't have an idea of what their top 10 or top 20 best-selling products are for the last few days or a week or whatever the time frame is. That's because they just don't have the power of tech in their hands that they could use a lot. Now, just for some background, I just recently relocated to India after 20 years in US, Silicon Valley. And of course, many people ask me, what are the big difference things you see in India after, living 20 years in US is a long time? What are the big differences? And this is the audience full of marketeers, right? I believe India is a marketeer's paradise because this is really a growth market, right? As compared to West, when you look at the US or the Europe or the UK, that's really the matured market. And in India, it's truly the growth market. So this, I believe, is a time in India where marketing can really make a huge impact because of the growth nature of it. And when you use tech solutions, and I believe every company has to become a tech company. Every person has to become a tech person. You cannot say that I'm a marketeer, so I don't care about tech. Sorry, those days are gone. If they're not gone yet, they will be gone soon. Every person, every company has to become a tech company. That's just the future. That's just the reality. Otherwise, we'll become obsolete. It will be irrelevant. So you really have to see how can you leverage tech, how you leverage digital, and you get the most value for your organization. And you can do that in all across the mediums. You can do artificial intelligence, advanced analytics, prescriptive analytics that we just talked about. So there are all different kind of technologies that are out there, but using them right is very important, right? Because I very openly say this, and Devesh, I shared with you earlier as well, that these phygital experiences, right? That's core for us. I think Smita mentioned earlier why consumer journey is so important. One of the biggest reasons these digital transformations or phygital experience projects fail is because of the silos. Because a marketing person doesn't have the authority over the technology systems, who doesn't know what's happening in the other systems, etc. And they're all segregated, working not in. If you just go back and say, look, I don't care about all these different systems. I only care about consumer. I'm obsessed with consumer experience. And get them all in the same room. I think a lot of those problems get sorted out because now you're really looking at completing your end-to-end consumer journey. Everything must fall in place for that. And that's how you use that phygital experience to bring in one experience where you mentioned earlier, Devesh, you walk in the store at Starbucks, you have the immersive experience in the store You get to experience everything in the store. And then when you pay for it, you use your wallets or the cards, the IDs on your phone. So that's really merging that. And not just that, being able to shop across channels, having the same consistent, seamless experience. I think those are some very important things from experience standpoint. And I believe that if you want to retain and grow your customer base, you have to give them the experience, which is really what's going to take you anywhere.
Interesting point, Aashish. Now coming to you, I'll share an experience. Okay, 2 weeks ago I was on the road with my family. Okay, and I stopped at a popular chain. Okay, bought something, and my wife showed that why don't you show this coupon? Maybe we can get some discount over here. When I showed them the coupon, they said, "Sir, this will only work online." Okay, so the thought gave me an idea that why aren't there coupons, organizations bringing out, which are, when they're talking about seamless experiences, both in the digital world and the physical world, why aren't there universal coupons, where you can, replicate the same online as well as online? Now I understand that, that I got that coupon by paying a bill at the Digi Wallet, and then, then they want me to drive back to the app store. But it would have been much more seamless experience, had that coupon be relevant at that point of time. So what do you think about that? Do you see this?
No, absolutely. I think it's a very, very interesting insight. In fact, I believe one of the worlds that we are seeing entering into, a lot of brands are doing some interesting stuff, is on NFTs in particular, right? There's a lot of discussion of how NFTs can literally be these coupons, as you rightly said. Those the brands can give to people. And those can be utilized in multiple experiences, whether it's a concert you're going, whether it's a festival you're going, or for that matter, you're buying something in a store. I think this is the future. And whether it's physical coupons or online coupons, I think I believe this. I'm very, very excited with the world of NFTs that is coming up, in which you as a brand are giving license of your brand to someone else. Not as a brand owner, you're keeping it to yourself. And more this creator economy and a lot of things I heard today, this is real. I mean, people are wanting to buy a share of your brand, not just share of your company, but want to buy a share of your brand, right? And I think as brand owners, we want to be pretty open about that, right? So I think this is the reality. I think very much where our in-house stores, and I heard in Pepperfry and heard in Duroflex as well, even Body Shop as well. Lot of the brands that control online to offline experience is very seamless. This experience, especially in our category as well. I represent the beer world. So our brands like Budweiser, Corona, Hoegaarden. Unfortunately, in India, we don't control a lot of our retail partners or retail stores in particular. But in Maharashtra, which is the state we are in, the government has allowed a lot of home deliveries. And they also allow online apps on which you can buy liquor, very similar to how you can buy food on a Swiggy or order a cab on an Uber or an Ola. Very similar, you can do it here as well. So we saw during pandemic, there was an opportunity for people to buy alcohol, and we created an online app very, very quickly, another app in the ecosystem. But we started small. We said that how we can explain to people, how we can serve them relevant content about our brands, and kind of guide that online to offline experience. And to your point on coupons, we actually serve them benefits or discounts that you can also get 20% off on online, but same 20% off is also on offline if you show a particular coupon, if you show a particular code. So we do that as well, and we are seeing a lot of conversion happening. India is a digital savvy country. A lot of people are wanting to explore. Our category is very new in terms of online ordering. So people are even more open when a brand like ours talks to them. And we are seeing great footfalls. In fact, some of the stores that we have around 30 to 40 stores here in Bombay itself. Those are our own control stores where we control the experience of the consumer from, say, this app to this place. We also do limited experiences for some of our high buyers. Not the fancy Lamborghini ones that I saw today, but we also do some experience in our stores as well, where people can come, can experience our beers, our new products that we launch exclusively only for those stores. and that's a great benefit. But as I said, at least the NFT part that I started with, I think it's a real thing. It is coming as a force that a lot of marketers need to understand, that give control to your brand, give control of your brand, and people will own a certain wealth of your brand that they can monetize, either to someone else, or they can monetize for experiences that your brand only can provide. So it's real. It's absolutely real, Devesh.
Very, very interesting, Vineet. And then, I really like the idea of, post-pandemic, how the liquor part, is now getting delivered online, because I think it was the need of the hour. And I'm slightly more curious. I mean, how this data is being leveraged, in terms of delivering them the experiences at the stores. So how are you leveraging that data, and what kind of content you are sharing with them?
Yeah, so we use this data a lot because first party data, right? We leverage this a lot in terms of as I said, sharing them the right content. We know if someone is buying, say, one bottle of Budweiser, we want to upsell that consumer to buy maybe another bottle of a more expensive brand, right? Not only that, club them together, give them offers we also in these stores sell some food items as well. So club a food, a beer offering to another food offering as well. So we use this data, to customize the experience for the consumer, whether it's a buying experience or at the other point of time, you also, calculate a lifetime value of the consumer, ensuring that, okay, in one purchase, I can make you up by me, or in the other time I can serve you relevant content. So I also, during this app, get to know you as an individual. What's your age? Which part of, say, at least in Mumbai, where do you live? What are your interests in particular? And I can serve you relevant content later as well via different platforms that we engage with. So I think first party data definitely makes us much more richer in terms of targeting our media. So I think we have seen a lot of efficiency in our media spend category. Rather than talking to a wide plethora of people, that spray and pray approach that we generally do, that is off the window. I think we are still new in the world of utilizing data for media, but we have an access to a lot of not just our stores, but a lot of events we do across. And we capture a lot of first party data. We have a lot of tie-ups with the restaurants as well, bar partners, a lot of chains across India where you as a consumer would go and give your phone number. We have tie-ups with them where we can get access to that data as well. So we make sure that we reach out to the relevant people. Of course, we don't want to bombard people with 10,000 messages. We want to just go to the right people and give them right offerings, whether it's experiences, whether it's content, whether it's upselling them to even more higher value products.
Interesting. Rohit, coming to you now. One of the key aspects of digital experience is, trying to identify who the customer is, and has it been to your digital mediums, previously. So when a customer, walks into the store, how does the brand attribute that? Has he come from the online experience that he had, or is he or she the first time experience at the store? How are they solving the attribution experience with the digital experiences?
Right. So thanks. So I think this tech question will come to me because we provide marketing infrastructure to brands and publishers, and we write software for a living, and we do custom ad tech, martech platform deployments for brands. So that's why this question has come to me. But like Aashish mentioned, that every marketeer has to be a tech guy, and I was on the other side earlier, in my earlier roles, and once I realized that when we talking about CRM data, ad tech, martech, all of this, and also the omni-channel channels that are available to us, I think theoretically all of us understand what needs to be done. The question is how. One of the challenges I think the industry is facing today, and I can say for sure that this is a turning point when a lot of platforms like Google, Facebook, and other such closed-door platforms, they get your customer data, but they don't share it back with you, is probably leaving you high and dry in the world of martech, ad tech. And the starting point which he mentioned is about the first party data. Now, there are various systems in the consumer companies having different owners. So you have owner of a CRM, you have, and these are all silos working. One key element for brands would be in this new age marketing domain would be to bring a common denominator between all these silos which exist in some form. Now, to be able to create a common denominator, and I want to focus on the technology side because that's what I know. There are ID systems which are getting created worldwide. So if you are a marketeer and you have first party data with you, you would need to probably look at building an ID system which will be seamless and has a bent towards the internet world. So what I mean to say is that you need to come out of your CRM focused activities to with a CDP, which is customer data platform, which is anonymized data, and lay it over the ad tech world. That's how you will, improve, or say, for instance, you'll have a 50, 100x reach from just looking at your customer data on the website. So I think the ID system is very important for you to look at if you're a marketer and you want to really harness the technologies that are around. And that will also answer how a coupon bought offline cannot be traced back to the online, because you have an ID system which doesn't connect between the two, and you need to look at that. And very recently we announced launch of Vodafone Idea DSP. We are the partners of that company, and we've come up with a Google alternate for cookies. This is a Vodafone Idea ID system which transcends any app ecosystem or any browser ecosystem. And that could be one element that could be the starting point for you. And that will take you far and wide in terms of consumer reach and improve your business numbers.
Interesting. Thank you, Rohit. So I think, it's very much established that, that data is kind of the backbone, for creating those right phygital experiences. And secondly, it's the mindset, because every organization that is working towards creating a phygital experience, they need to have that digital mindset. They need to have that innovative mindset, because otherwise it would not be possible. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining this discussion today. We had really lovely insights from you. Thank you very much.